welcome to Rachel's Reviews. I am so excited today. We have a very special guest. We are here to talk Disney Plus and our first sort of initial impressions of it, and also to talk about Lady and the Tramp, which is one of their first initial offerings. And we have a very special guest here on the podcast. We have Jess Lambert is here. And Jess, why don't you tell people a little bit about your channel and what you do?
Okay. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Thank you to Rachel for having me here today. My channel is basically I am watching every Disney movie ever made. I started 3 years ago. I'm already 300 some movies in, going in chronological order. It's a really fun time.
How did you get the idea to do this?
So I went to film school. I graduated from film school in 2015, and I moved to Los Angeles and did an internship, whole shebang. I edited a documentary. But while I was out there, I just kept telling myself, like, it's my dream to direct a Disney movie. Like, all I want to do is make a Disney movie or work for Disney in some capacity in a film way. And I finally decided that what better way to know Disney and their history of filmmaking and just everything about their story than to watch all of their movies.
Yeah.
So I decided to watch all of their movies. It was my mother who said, hey, you should document your process on YouTube or something.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wow, good idea. So then it just became like this project, and then it slowly took over my life, and now it's like my whole full-time thing. I love doing it so much.
That's amazing. So are you counting, what are you counting as a Disney movie?
Okay, so I get this question so often, especially now because Disney's buying everything.
Right.
So currently my list is like 870 movies long, and it's including everything released under Walt Disney Pictures, everything they released to television under like Disney or ABC or Wonderful World of Disney or Disney Channel original movies, anything straight to home video under Disney's name, so like Buena Vista or Walt Disney Pictures. So, like all the sequels that were direct to video in the 90s, like Lion King 2 and Little Mermaid 2, and like all of those are included. And then Pixar. As of right now, I don't have Marvel or Lucasfilm on my list. Those are the two companies I will probably eventually end up doing. Touchstone Pictures and 20th Century Fox, I will probably not do. Because Touchstone Pictures has, it's like Pretty Woman. Like, Pretty Woman's not a Disney movie,
right. Yeah, I mean, you can say like something like Nightmare Before Christmas is technically Touchstone, but it
is. But they also released it in 2006 under Walt Disney.
Oh, okay.
So they did go back and were like, hang on, let's make it a Disney movie, actually.
That will save you from having to watch Strange Magic, so that's a smart choice just there alone. That's not a good... so are you going to do like the Disney sequels, like Disney Toons? Are you doing those?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what, you're in the 80s now, or?
No, I'm 91.
Oh, 91.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Here comes Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, so I was just saying, you've just been through it's pretty good time for Disney.
Yeah, my 300th was The Little Mermaid. I love that video. I love that movie. It was a really fun celebration of 300.
Well, and that's perfect because 300th video, 30th anniversary.
I know, 30th anniversary, and then 300th video, 3rd year anniversary of me doing the channel. It was a lot of threes, so I was like, wow, it was like meant to be.
Yeah, that's like kismet going on there.
Yeah, exactly.
So in watching all of these, you didn't even know this was going to be an interview, sorry, but I think it's fun to give people a chance to get to know you. So in all of these movies, has there been one that you ended up really liking that you either thought you weren't going to like or you had never heard of and you were like, what is this?
One of my favorite things about doing this project is finding what I have now deemed hidden gems.
Yeah.
Movies I've never heard of in my life.
Yeah.
I never would have ever picked it up if I wasn't doing this project, and there have been a ton of them.
Yeah.
Earlier ones are really fun, like Almost Angels is one of my beloved movies, and it's actually on Disney Plus. I was shocked that Almost Angels is on Disney Plus. I love that movie. I don't know why. It's not the most fantastic movie of all time, but I just love the story of that film. And then other things that I think have just gotten buried over time, like The Journey of Natty Gann is incredible. That movie is so good. I really like The Littlest Horse Thieves, which is a terrible title, but the movie's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it
There
was
really
called,
are some good made-for-TV movies from Disney. I even have a fondness for some of the musicals they've done recently and some of those other things, but but uh, they made a lot of really good movies. And one thing doing my Disney Scares Month has been fun is that it kind of forced me to, of course, I started with some of the obvious ones like your Watcher in the Woods and your, things like that, which is fun. But it's forced me to kind of dive into something like I just watched the Scream Team just this last month. And I
mhm,
thought that was really fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it was creative. I thought the
yeah,
acting, all the casting was great. They've all gone on to do either they were already great or gone on to done great, fun things. And so I don't know. That's one. I love one of the hidden gems. I love Something Wicked This Way Comes.
me too,
I think
absolutely.
that's such a good movie. It just visually so great. I think the themes are really interesting. To have a movie from Disney that with a father that's really exploring, feel like the Jonathan Robards character in that movie really feels conflicted about the fact that he's this older father. And
Yeah,
just all the characters, they all feel this regret and longing, wishing they could be someone else. And
yeah,
that's what the Mr. Knight, that's what he,
yeah,
monopolizes. And I think that movie would make a great remake because
yeah.
what you want to do with remakes is you want to remake something that people don't know about that's really good, and you
Well,
wish that.
I heard they're remaking the film The Black Hole, and The
Hmm.
Black Hole, if
Yeah,
done correctly, could be actually quite phenomenal.
yeah, and there's really good
80s
things about
movies.
that original movie, but yeah,
I mean, there's
doesn't
some
quite
stuff
work.
in that movie that is just like, what's going on? Why are they
Yeah,
breathing in space? I don't understand what's happening. What are the robots? Like, I don't know.
yeah,
But like, if done correctly, and I've heard rumors that it's going to get a remake, and I'm actually quite excited about that.
yeah.
But yeah,
It just feels like a kind of mediocre Star Trek episode. Like people compare it to Star Wars, but I think it's way more Star Trekky than Star Wars. And it does feel weird to have Anthony Perkins in a movie because he's just became so iconic as a villain. It's weird, you
yeah,
know, from
yeah,
from Psycho. It's just kind of like I don't know,
yeah. True,
but
true. It is true
uh,
to have,
yeah. But
Bates over
anyway,
here.
it is fun. That's the value of doing these kind of projects is that it forces you to kind of think about things and think about the pluses and minuses and just get exposed to things that you would normally not watch. And then
Absolutely.
you find things. That's why I always say people are like, oh, I'm not interested in that. I'm like, just try to expand your ideas of what, like, you might not still like it, but I don't know. Sometimes I
I
just
know. I mean,
wish that,
there have been so many movies I've gone in being like, oh, pugh, and then at the
yeah.
end I'm like, wow, this was amazing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's very true. There's no doubt about it. So that's really cool. I really admire what you do on your
Thank
channel.
you so much. I love your channel. I just watched, like, literally earlier today, I watched your Lady and the Tramp review because I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Well, we'll try to dive into a little bit more, maybe more details and have a discussion about it. So, but let's talk a little bit about initial impressions with Disney Plus.
Sure.
So, obviously, we're both super fans. But what was your feeling about? Were you impressed with the initial rollout?
So I, like, have been around since they announced Disney Plus, obviously. I'm sure you have too when they first
Mm-hmm.
announced. And when they started releasing, like, they released a logo and it was like, ooh, and then they released, like, little sample videos of what the platform itself might look like, and that got me a little excited. And then when the platform launched, I was like, okay, I think so far, like, it's got a great mix of a lot of the streaming services right now. And on launch day, they had a lot of issues. um,
Or were you one of
my
the ones? Because I actually
Yes,
didn't. Everything mine was completely seamless. I was
yeah, no,
lucky.
I was definitely in the group that had issues because, like, on the desktop version, like on my computer, it wouldn't like let me go to any kind of editing profiles, but I could see like the home and everything. And then like on my phone, I couldn't see any content, but I could edit the profiles. And then like on a smart TV or on like a gaming console, I couldn't like even get into it. It was fascinating. But then like an hour later, I could maybe potentially start watching a movie. That
Yeah,
is
it
to be
seems like
expected, I mean.
it seems like most of the people had problems that were working through consoles or something. Like I was the first day I was just using the internet.
Yeah.
I was just on my laptop, and I didn't have any problems. But then and then I went on my Amazon Fire Stick and it worked fine for me the second day. So maybe I don't know if that was part of it, but yeah. So what have you been able to watch so far?
So I've watched Lady and the Tramp, High School Musical, the series. I watched a bunch of the Pixar Spark shorts before Disney Plus came out. So I watched the only one I hadn't seen yet, which was Float. And then
So
I've
cute.
watched Double Teamed, the old school DCOM. My cousin and I decided to dive deep and we went for Double Teamed, which still holds up. That movie's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I think I watched like the first episode of Lizzie McGuire or something, or maybe Kim Possible it was. But I haven't like fully gone like to watch whatever yet. I've been on a kick of another show, so that's kind of my obsession right now.
I mean, you could literally just waste away in front of Disney Plus. I was saying on my other podcast, I'm like, there's no excuse to be bored anymore. I don't want to hear it. But there's never a time in the history of the world where people had access to so much entertainment ever.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Well, and I think that's why they had Disney had so many issues on launch day. It's because they had all these pre-orders, which was amazing. I know I pre-ordered because I'm, D23 member, everything. But then on the day of launch, they had 10 million people sign up.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you? $7 a month, I think is the current price.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Amazing. No
it's
ads.
Like 2 rentals.
I was like, what's the catch? Going?
I mean, literally just to go to the theater for one movie in most places, you're going to spend multiple months. It's not uncommon to spend over $20 for one ticket.
Yep.
Depending on 3D
what
or
you're
whatever.
Doing. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's just nuts. But I mean, it's been pretty impressive. I haven't been able to watch as much as I like because I host the Hallmarkies podcast and am in the thick of reviewing and watching Christmas movies all the time. But I did watch Noelle.
I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave it a positive review. I gave it fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. But I have to admit, it wasn't quite as good as I hoped it would be. But it was cute enough. But I was hoping it would be a little bit funnier, and I was hoping that it would it's not really a romance, which was a little disappointing because I'm a fan of romantic comedies. And I thought that was a little disappointing. But it was pretty cute, and there's some fun lines like. Instead of saying oh my gosh, or she says oh my Garland, and stuff like that was funny.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, okay, cute little cute.
And the cast is great, so I'd recommend that. And then
it's on my list.
And then I've watched Forky Ask a Question because I got to interview the composer at rotoscopers.com. I got to interview the composer, and they're just little 3-minute segments. But they're really cute if you like Forky, which I do.
Cute.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then I've also watched Float, and that was so cute.
My favorite of those shorts has been Kitbull by far. Kitbull made me sob so hard.
I don't know which one's my favorite. I like them all. It's really hard to decide. But I still haven't watched The Mandalorian, which I need to. it's so hard to fit series in. I just have movies I have to watch.
Yeah, I've been hearing so many things about The Mandalorian, but I'm not, like, people are gonna be so mad at me, but I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. Like,
Yeah.
Star Wars is good. I love the originals a lot, but I don't think
Uh,
I'm gonna want to watch a show about Star Wars. Like, sorry, sue me. So I haven't watched The Mandalorian either, and I don't really plan to. I'm
mhm.
glad people are enjoying it. I can't believe I like High School Musical, the musical, the series. Like,
I
that's just
know.
bizarre.
That's impressive. Well, I have a complicated relationship with Star Wars these days because I love the originals
Mhm.
and I was very disappointed by the prequels. I I they came out when I was a freshman in college and we were all so excited and I was like so disappointed. And then I hated this. I was very disappointed by Phantom Menace, and then I hated Attack of the Clones. In fact, I didn't actually. I was so disappointed by the prequels that I didn't watch Revenge of the Sith until before Force Awakens. That's how
Oh, wow.
disappointed I was. I hated them.
I hate Attack of the Clones.
It's
Everyone says Phantom
so
Menace
bad.
is the worst, and they are wrong. Attack of the Clones is so bad.
I think that Phantom Menace does more damage to the lore and to Star
Sure.
Wars, and so I think that's why people say it. Like things like the midichlorians and some other stuff like that that actually
Yeah.
like hurts lore. And whereas, but yeah, as far as like acting and story, and it's bad. It's very bad.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith is still not a very good movie, but it has some good scenes.
Better.
It's better. And
Who was
then,
in Phantom Menace as young Anakin went to my college.
oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got bullied. He had to leave. It was sad.
oh, I know, poor Jake Lloyd. But as far as the sequel trilogy, I like. Well, as far as the new Disney Star Wars, I've liked one of them.
Is it Rogue One?
No, I liked The Force Awakens. I thought The Force Awakens got that sort of, I don't know, spirit of a space western where I
Yeah, well,
just wanted to
The
cheer, and
Force Awakens is like A New Hope. It's just A New Hope with a
I
bunch of
get
new
that
people.
complaint, but that didn't bother me personally.
Oh, no,
Uh
it didn't bother me. I liked The Force Awakens a lot.
yeah, it was just a fun movie to me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it has lessened in my eyes because I did not like The Last Jedi. And the others, I mean, I thought Solo was okay. It didn't stay with me though. It didn't last. It's
I
not
haven't seen whatever the Solo movie
and
is.
Rogue One I didn't like.
Oh,
And
really?
no.
Oh,
And
wow.
just because I didn't care. I did not care about any of the characters. But and I don't know. I just thought it was kind of boring. It didn't do it for me. But
No, totally.
but then yeah, and then Last Jedi I did not care for. And so I don't know, I just have this complicated relationship. But in defense of this series, in defense of Mandalorian, even though I haven't seen it, the Star Wars television shows have been very good. Star Wars
Oh, yeah?
Rebels is great. And then what I've seen of Clone Wars, I haven't watched it all, was really good. And so, because Dave Filoni, the creator of the animated shows, has like a really good handle on what at least is Star Wars to me. I feel like of all the people in Lucasfilm, he's the one that's executing it the way that I think of it as, which is, just whatever. And so that gives me some hope for the Mandalorian, actually, that it
Mhm.
would be good, but I haven't seen it yet. But anyway, so we'll see. I just don't have time for television. I just have to watch too many movies. Like tomorrow I'm going to
Yeah.
see The
Tell me
Irishman.
about
It's
it.
3.5 hours long for my review.
I
And
know.
I just like, I don't know.
People,
But
I have so many friends being like, watch this series, watch this series. And I'm like, do you know how many movies I have to watch?
yeah, that's right. But let's talk about Lady and the Tramp. So
Okay.
how do you feel about the original Lady and the Tramp?
I love the original Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
I didn't for long, like, I didn't have any strong feelings toward the original Lady and the Tramp for the longest time. And then just every time I've watched it for my channel, because I did like an original video on it, and then that was back when I barely covered the movies, I did a new review for it this past year, like this past, it's almost over, the year's almost over this
Yeah.
past year. And every time I watch it now, I'm like, dang, it's so good.
Yeah.
I cry every time. Like, it's just so good. So I went into the live action being like, all right, here we go. Like, we got a lot to live up to.
Have you in general liked these live action remakes?
No.
Yeah, me either.
It really depends. I love the live action Cinderella. I thought it
Yeah.
was so beautifully done. I thought Kenneth Branagh did a fantastic job, and I
Yeah,
thought the
that's
lady was
definitely, I feel like that's universally agreed that that is one of the best.
yeah.
I
Otherwise, not so much. I liked Aladdin. I don't think it was the best, obviously, because I
I
said
didn't go fresh on Aladdin, but I was close.
yeah.
It
I
definitely,
did not like Beauty and the Beast.
no,
That
definitely
one
not.
hurt. And
Yeah,
like I feel like that's everybody's favorite and I cannot handle it
no,
because I
I feel like it.
was
I feel like it was everyone's favorite for like a month and a half, and then now everyone's forgotten about it. Like it just. I mean, that's the thing about these live action remakes is they sure they make a lot of money, but they are just the most fast food of any movie. They do not have any lasting legacy, and people are
yeah.
always like, oh, but they're making it for the new generation, so they're not made for you. And I'm like,
Yes, they are.
bogus. That's not true. They are made for nostalgic adults
Yeah.
who want to relive and who think that animation is somehow lesser than live action.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why they frustrate me is that literally Disney is reinforcing that message that all the time in the ads, that this is better than ever in live action and see it the way you never, all this kind of ridiculous things. And the uh and so yeah, they that's why the sequels don't do all that well. The two they've done was Alice Through the Looking Glass and this Maleficent, because people don't care about these movies. And I mean, if they were really made for the new generation, why, when you go to disneystore.com or any of the things like that, all of the toys are almost exclusively the traditional designs, traditional toys.
Mm-hmm.
If the new versions were made for children who buy toys, they would want the new versions, but they don't. And then also another tell, I think, that you can tell these movies are not made for children is the fact that at the parks, it's almost exclusively the traditional designs. And
Mm-hmm.
those characters are designed to please children. you know and
Yeah.
so if the new versions were what they thought that children really wanted, they would
Mm-hmm.
have the characters in the park dressing like the new versions, but they don't. And
Yeah.
so I think that Disney basically knows, but they try to throw out that line that, oh, it's for a new generation, but it's not. And so I think about this Lady and the Tramp. I think it's actually the best of these live action remakes for this year. For
What have
when
we
you
had?
compare
Dumbo and Lion King?
Dumbo, Lion King, which I did not like that Lion King. I actually gave a positive afresh to Dumbo just because I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of
I
weird.
I enjoyed
Right.
Dumbo. I think
And
I was happy they did a lot of new stuff
yeah,
because the original Dumbo is like an hour. Like it's
yeah,
really short. And they covered all of the original Dumbo story in like the first 20 minutes. And then I
right,
was like, now we're off book. Where are
yeah,
we going with this? Like
right,
so
exactly.
I enjoyed that aspect of it a
And
lot.
They Got Dumbo was so cute. He was
Yeah.
so cute. It
Yeah.
wasn't perfect by any means, but I did go
No.
fresh on it. But anyway, so you got Dumbo, and then you have Aladdin, and then Lion King, and then finally we have this like Lady and the Tramp. And I do think it was the best one. I think all the ways that you wanted it to be sweet and adorable were sweet and adorable. They did the Christmas scene was so good. I thought it was so cute. And I mean it's basically the same movie. I mean it's almost identical. There's little things, but like they changed Jock into a female.
Oh yeah, I
That's
didn't
fine.
care
So
about
there's
that
like
at all.
little
I
changes, but
agree with you about Sam Elliott being a perfect choice for
yeah.
Trusty.
Oh
Sam
yeah.
Elliott's the best.
That was so fun. And I don't know. I just liked these two doggies. They were really cute. Yeah, the CGI didn't look that good, but I think I was a lot nicer to it because it was on Disney Plus and I didn't have to deal with that horrible marketing that Disney does with these remakes.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know, I was just more forgiving because it was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Disney Plus and I could live
yeah,
tweet while I watched it
yeah.
and
I enjoyed the movie. Like I cried at the end because I cry at everything. I am a
yeah,
big old emotional crier. But I don't know. I at first, so in the first part of the movie, when they have the baby in the original, like Lady meets the baby right away, like right after
right.
la la loo, la la loo. They like, and she like falls in love with the baby, and that's her whole reason for wanting to like protect the baby. And
From
they
the
didn't
rat.
have that, so like all the way until they finally had her meet the baby, I was like, dude, you just took away like the one motivating factor of her wanting to protect this baby. I'm so mad.
Yeah.
But then they like, and then they took the baby away instead of having Aunt Sarah watch the baby and
Well, I
Lady.
mean, that was so weird because they basically like tricked Aunt Sarah into watching Lady, which why would you
Yeah,
want to do that if you love your dog? This person is not a dog person, but we're going to trick you into, we're going to say, oh, you're coming to watch the baby and surprise, nope, you're coming to watch this dog. That was really weird. And, of course they were going to change the Siamese cats, but
well, yeah,
I don't
we
know.
did, yeah.
But it was fine. I didn't mind that. And
No, I liked their new song. It was kind of
they
fun.
they looked a little weird. I thought their design
Um,
was kind of
yeah,
weird,
yeah.
but
hmm
it was fine.
I my whole family, we are big. We don't like when the animals' mouths move.
Hmm.
Like, we like it Homeward Bound style. Like, give us just the face of
Yeah,
the dog and have the voice happening. We get it. Their mouths don't have to move. Like, we're not
yeah,
stupid.
right.
So I was wondering because all the trailers, it didn't really. I don't. Although I only really saw one trailer, it didn't show any mouths moving. And then the second their mouths started moving, I was just like, no, why is this happening? So
I mean,
that just like,
it was way better than Lion King in that regard to me. But
well,
because
okay,
that's like because Lion King was like hyper realistic, and at least this
yes,
is kind of nostalgic and
yeah,
glowing and a
yeah.
little bit more of a
Well,
fantasy feel.
also Lion King, you said I think in your Lady and the Tramp review that this was like almost a shot for shot. You know, Lion King is shot
Yeah,
for shot
yeah,
the same
yeah.
movie. And it's like, why? What are you doing? So
Right.
this one, at least, like the whole, I loved in your review that you brought up how they have this whole like ferry ride conversation to
Yeah.
like try and build their romantic relationship more. And that entire time I was like, I'm bored. Can we keep going, please? Like, who cares? I don't care about laughing about like weird singing, howling.
It was so weird.
It
But
was so weird.
yeah, I mean, just that they felt a need that we gotta give them more dialogue when they have
Well,
their
yeah,
night
I think
together.
they're like
It's just,
trying to build up their relationship more because I think a big complaint of the first one, maybe, or the original, is that they fall in love over spaghetti, and it's like, who cares? They're
they're
dogs. Let them
dogs.
fall in love over spaghetti. Like, I don't care. If it were people, I'd have qualms, but they're dogs. Let
I
them
mean,
fall in love over
sometimes the heart
spaghetti.
wants what the heart wants. I mean, come on. And yeah, I mean, the big flaw I have with the original is that it's basically the same here, is they set up the Siamese cats as the antagonists of the
Yeah.
movie. They give them a villain song and everything, and
Yep.
then they sing their song, and then you never see them again.
Yep.
They're gone.
Yep.
It's so weird. But I mean,
Yeah.
I do love in the original when when Trusty proposes to Lady to keep her honor. I love that. It's probably not modern enough now, but I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I was a little sad, like for the longest time I didn't like in the original that Tramp called her Pidge. But
Oh,
in this one I kind of missed that he didn't give her a nickname. I was kind of like,
right.
hey, like come
Yeah.
on.
I mean,
It's
I think another reason why I was a little more forgiving of this one, is that I feel like Lady and the Tramp is very underrated, and so if anything, I hope that people will see this and want to watch the original,
yeah.
because I don't know, it's just one that gets kind of forgotten. I think about, and as opposed to Beauty and the Beast, which everyone knows, like it doesn't need any help.
Yeah,
But
yeah, everyone knows Beauty and the Beast for sure.
yeah, so I ended up giving it a 6 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. I gave it a fresh,
Nice,
and
nice.
I thought it
I'd
was,
probably agree with 6 out of 10. I would
yeah,
probably agree with that rating.
I think it was a sweet movie. It's harmless. It's not something I'm going to remember.
I loved the music except for like the faster version of La La Lu. I love that
Mhm.
lullaby. I sing that lullaby to my baby
Yeah,
cousins. And like to have it all fast and a little bit jazzy, I was like, yo, this is a
yeah,
lullaby. What are we doing?
that's
But I
true.
loved the music otherwise. Like the score was really well
Mhm.
done, I thought. And just
And they
like,
really got that nostalgic feel. The costumes, Colleen Atwood doing the costumes definitely
yeah, yeah.
helped. She's a pro, and so I thought that was nice. And I agree that He's a Tramp song I thought was
Yo,
perfect.
Janelle Monáe,
Yeah.
she's amazing. We love her. Like it's just she did a great job at
Yeah.
He's a Tramp, and also the new lullaby they put at the end, I really enjoyed as
Yeah,
well.
it was cute. So there we go. Let us know if you're listening what you think of Disney Plus so far. Are you impressed or kind of on it? Let us know, and what you thought of Lady and the Tramp. Would love to hear your thoughts. And so, Jess, where can people find you on social media, and then your channel and everything like that?
They can find me on my channel. You can either look up Every Disney Movie Ever and I'll come up, or you can look up Jess Lambert and I'll come up. And then social media for everything is Jess Lambert 19.
Great. And I'll have the links in the description section. So you definitely want to check it out. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the Hallmarkies podcast, where we are covering all things Christmas. So check that out. And so thanks so much, Jess. This was really fun.
Thank you so
And
much for having me.
we're going to be doing a video on her channel. So make sure you look out for that as well. So thanks. And we'll have to talk again soon. Bye.